Okay, welcome back, everybody, and we move on to item 9 on today's agenda, which is the DEVA mission to Guatemala, which took place on the 28th of October 2024 to the 30th of October. So we'll have a debriefing by the chair of the delegation. As we know, Guatemala is a key player in the Central America region and an important partner for the EU. We have positive relations. It's a like-minded country, a democracy, and the biggest economy in the region. On the political side, Guatemala went through a challenging power transition last year, culminating in President Arévalo's turbulent inauguration in January 2024. The government still faces challenges in a divided Congress, where the president's party lacks a majority. An alliance has been formed among several parties, but still remains fragile. This situation threatens the implementation of the government's legislative and policy reform agenda, based on promoting sustainable and inclusive development and combating corruption. The mission itself focused primarily on human development issues as the country suffers from very high levels of poverty and social inequality, especially in rural and indigenous areas, chronic child malnutrition, and violence against women, which represent key obstacles to the country's development. The mission also focused on the effects of climate change in Guatemala, which causes recurring humanitarian disasters that trigger displacement and undermine the country's development efforts. So we look forward to hearing from the chair in due course and from members of the delegation. But before we do that, we're going to see a short video which is being prepared by DG Expo, featuring the main highlights of the mission. Hopefully all the good ones.
I have the honor to head a delegation of members of European Parliament from various different countries, various different political groups, which are united in our common endeavor to support Guatemala, to support the indigenous communities, to support each and everybody in Guatemala. And this is the reason why we are really grateful to have the opportunity to visit this location, this camp, Ichoki, where women get empowerment, where women receive encouragement in order to elaborate on their skills, on their professional opportunities for the future, to found businesses, to contribute to the workforce, and to make a living from that for themselves, for their families, and to strengthen by that way indigenous communities, especially the ones here in this area. And this is exactly what we want to do from the side of the European Union in order to support Guatemala and to make the world a better place.
I've never been, but I'd love to go now to Guatemala. Okay, well, let's start then and give the floor to the chair of the delegation, Mr. Lucas Mandel, for 6 minutes.
Thank you very much. I think I will not exploit all the 6 minutes since the video already tells a lot, not only in terms of pictures, also in terms of content. I would say, first and foremost, I want to thank especially the Secretariat for its great support. There is not any little thing anybody could complain about. Maybe I can tell that for the whole delegation. It was really supported excellently in each and every respect. Also by the EU office in Guatemala City itself, I have to say, not because Mr. Piker is Austrian, but it was just a professional great support. And I want to thank the colleagues who went there with me, who had a lot of understanding with me since I don't speak Spanish, as the one and only among our delegation, namely from the Secretariat, Nicolas and Audrey, first of all, I want to thank, but also within our delegation from the side of the members, Gabriel Mato, Carla Tavares, Juan Lopez Aguilar, Herman Terch, and Diana Riba. I would say we made it happen to cover all the various issues which are important. Humanitarian aid, especially taking care of the indigenous people, especially when it comes to future opportunities, jobs and education today, but also future opportunities with maybe different jobs. We also talked about that with the industry, which was very keen to talk to us. Very in-depth discussions we had with them. They even visited Brussels a week after. Maybe this was a coincidence, but we also used it. I was also there then. On the one side, this is of course a country that needs our support and help. On the other side, this is also a country with great economic perspectives when it comes to cooperation. And it's maybe a good example for what EU can achieve in a mutual good also business contact with Latin America. And this is one of the reasons why it was very sensible to undertake that mission. It's also very interesting, I would say, for us as Europeans to see the migration flow between Guatemala and the US. A very different world, so to speak, on our planet, but a similar pattern and very telling also for us and our challenges we are facing. Political stability is, of course, a big thing. I mean, it has not been long ago that political scenery has been stabilized, so to speak. Especially, we understand that the president, with a lot of support from the people, a big popularity among the citizens of Guatemala, is a strong partner when it comes to the values we represent, universal values actually, but represented by the European Union. But as I always say during missions, the highlight for us as parliamentarians is the visit to the parliament. And also there we had a really good in-depth discussion, and I think we have received, especially from the parliament's president, who has been elected as a representative of a very small minority party within the parliament. We have had really his ear and his understanding for the concerns we were raising. Even among our delegation, the different focuses were represented very well. And this is why it's always good to have a diverse delegation. And of course, I have to say, as a 7 years member now here, I always recommend it. I mean, we are all keen to spend taxpayers' money as best as possible. But it's a good investment to have something to communicate, and this is why I appreciate that this parliament is now as far developed that we can have also footage about what we are doing there, because that would also citizens rightly so ask us, what are you doing there, what are you achieving, what does it mean for Europe and the world, what are the outcomes and achievements, and to have a proof of that, namely footage in that case, is very important. So thanks also for that, and thanks for the good and fruitful delegation visit.
Thank you, Lucas. And the next